what I'm saying? Gotta get ready for the camera, you know what I'm saying? I can't be out here looking like Kevin Durant before I start podcasting, you know what I'm saying? Looking stupid as hell. Like, my dude get paid like $16 quadrillion a year, and he got the peasiest head that I've ever seen.
You're one to talk.
Damn. You know what's crazy? With this microphone and this thing, I could drop a whole album. Fuck around, I just might do that. I guess you wonder where I've been. I search to find a love within. I came back to let you know. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me on another episode of the Handle That podcast. Now, today's episode is very special. Today's episode is going to be all about self-worth, right? Now, how are we going to dive into this? Because I feel as though a lot of people, men and women, struggle with self-worth. You know what I'm saying? I sometimes do. Not going to lie. I have my days, and it was a lot more prevalent when I was younger, you know, when I was a kid. Definitely in my teenage years. You know, teenage years, you go to high school, people tease you for being different and shit like that. So, you know, it's never good. But there is a rise of... I'm going to start with men. There is a rise of men who don't necessarily feel as though they're worth a lot. It may be because of their interaction with women or lack thereof. It may be because of their upbringing, childhood, you know, that could be it. But it could be a multitude of things, you know. And one thing that needs to be understood about that is if you have self-worth problems, understand that you are worth whatever you want in life, right? Whatever you want in life. And this is coming from a person who hasn't achieved all the things in life that he wants to achieve. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not qualified to say that. It's no secret that you're worth everything you want in life. You want $1 million? Go fucking get $1 million. Do your research, figure out how you want to get it, and go about getting that $1 million. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not going to say it's not that hard because I don't have $1 million yet. So I can't, you know, speak on how difficult it's going to be. But it's possible. I've seen it done plenty of times. You know, it's just that when you struggle with self-worth, you get into a mode to where eventually nothing matters. You know, you start to lash out at people. You start to become what, you know, we call an incel. You know, an incel is basically a person who has failed in the dating world so much that they feel as though they'll never succeed in it at all. So they tend to lash out at people who are in healthy relationships or, you know, single people as a whole. They just lash out because, you know, it's kind of like one of those if I can't have it, nobody can have it type mentalities that they have. And you don't want to become that person, right? And I see on Facebook every single day. Facebook, not necessarily Instagram, it's more so Facebook. But every single day, I see guys post things that literally scream, somebody please talk to me. You know what I mean? Like, you put your worth in the interactions that you get from other people. And that's never going to be a good thing. Because you're basically basing your happiness on the reaction of other people. So if people don't interact with you, you're not going to be happy. You'll never be happy if that's the way you want to go about life. Because people are fickle. There is a handful out of 100 people you meet in the span of like 2 or 3 years. You'll only stay in contact with about 2 of them. You know what I mean? Because people are fickle. Minds change, you know. People start to like different things and they start to move differently. They may not necessarily change, but your mindsets may not link up anymore. Excuse me. You know what I'm saying? So if you base your happiness on the people around you, you're going to be fucking sad forever. So instead, why not base your happiness on you? You know, if you're one of these people that long for human interaction, let's go a step further. If you're one of these guys that long for female interaction, if what you're doing isn't getting you to where you need to be, isn't that not enough evidence that you need to switch shit up? If you're going down, if every time you're faced with a problem you go left, right? Well, that's technically right. But if every time you get faced with a problem you go left, maybe try going right. See what happens. Because obviously what you're doing isn't getting you the reaction that you want, not getting you the result that you want, right? And most oftentimes it's, you know, there's always room for improvement in you, right? There's always room for improvement inside you. Whether it could be, you could, you know, focus on getting a decent career, focus on getting your money right, focus on getting a job, or if you already got a job, get a better job, focus on your people skills, you know, just focus on getting your body right, hit the gym, work out, eat right, stuff like that. You know what I mean? There's always something you could be working on if you're one of these people. You know, it's not people's fault that they don't necessarily want to associate with you, right? You can't get mad at somebody for not wanting to associate with you, right? Either they don't see a reason in associating with you, or your attitude or the energy you give off is very repulsive. You know, you may, like, for example, you know, you may be one of these cats out here that you're kind of okay with talking to women, but the minute you open your mouth with a woman for more than 5 minutes, you come off as needy. You come off as, you know, desperate. And any woman will tell you that a desperate man is not attractive at all. Take it how you want to. Women apparently don't like that. And I can see why, because even in my position, if a girl was desperate to talk to me, always hitting me up, always texting me, always calling me, always putting me first and stuff like that, that's kind of like, it's cringeworthy. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing else you could be doing. Like, I am literally the center of your world. You have an entire life. Like, go live your life. We can link up later and shit like that. You know what I mean? So when you come off like that, it just, like I said, it's just cringeworthy. You know, if you make yourself too readily available to people that are going to take advantage of you, and you don't want to do that, right? So my advice, if you're in this situation, is to, instead of lashing out at people, instead of feeling bad about yourself, because coming from a person who used to feel bad about himself a lot, it's not going to get you anywhere. It's just going to slow you down and halt your progress. Instead of feeling bad about yourself, take the time to analyze, to psychoanalyze what's going on with you, to analyze what you should be doing. What could I be working on right now to put me in a better position to get to where I need to get to? Okay, if I'm not good at talking, let me get better at talking. Let me practice talking. If I get nervous when I'm around women, let me focus on you know, doing research that revolves around breaking through the nervous brick wall that we put up. Because when if you're nervous when talking to women, that's all upstairs. See, men and women do not like rejection. Nobody likes being rejected, right? But the reason why men are rejected more often, right, is for two reasons. Is for one, women are approached more, right? Is the fact that if women were to shoot their shot a lot more often, there would be a lot more healthy relationships, or at least there will be a lot more relationships. Healthy, I can't speak on individual relationships, but there would be a lot more relationships out here, right? And for people, and I'm talking about every day on Facebook, it's like, oh God, I'm so tired of being single. I just don't like being single. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Like, shoot your shot at a guy, man, dude you might like. It is what it is, right? So the first reason is because they're approached more often. And the second reason is because as a man, you're going to go for what you want. So the more you go for what you want, the more you approach women, the higher the chances of you being rejected goes, the chances of you being rejected goes up because you're putting yourself out there more, right? I just got a message. I have heard women say that they would much rather just miss out on a guy who they are crazily attracted to, whether it be in a club, a Walmart, a store, a social setting, whatever, crazily attracted to. They would rather not say anything to him, even if they make eye contact, just because they don't want to be rejected. Because the minute you get rejected, you start to internalize and you're like, holy shit, am I ugly? Am I fat? Am I stupid looking? Am I not worth it? You start to just negatively put all this bullshit energy on you. So if that's your problem, work on that. There's always something you could be doing to better yourself, right? I don't care if it's waking up in the morning and going for a walk. If you know that you need to work on your body, excuse me, well, I am burping like a fool. Burping like a fool. Tighten up. But if you know you need to work on your body, it's as simple as waking up in the morning, waking up 30 minutes earlier, and going for a walk. Get the ball rolling, and then make adjustments as you go further and further up the hill. So if I'm gonna end this portion, but if you feel as though you have self-worth problems, and you have to be honest with yourself first. I should have said that first. You have to be honest with yourself, because the more you lie to yourself, the worse off you're going to be, because you're just delaying the inevitable. You're just delaying what you need to do. The more and more you lie to yourself today, you basically are going to be in the same position a month from now, when if you told the truth today, you could literally have a month of fucking effort. A month of progress done, in that same time frame. But you have to be honest with yourself. Now, as far as women, it's pretty much the same thing. This is a very unisex type thing with a very unisex type solution. It's a unisex problem with a unisex solution. You too could also be doing something to better yourself. It doesn't matter if you could work on, building up the courage to talk to a guy if you're interested in him. Because aside from this goes for both men and women. The worst thing a person could say is no, right? The worst thing a person could say is no, appreciate it, but I have a girlfriend. No, appreciate it, but I have a boyfriend. No, appreciate it, but I'm just not interested. I just want to be single. I want to do my own thing, right? That is the worst thing they could say. We're all adults. Now, if you're dealing with that rare dickhead that just wants to act all bougie and stuff like that, you got to be able to analyze people. And if you analyze a person before you approach them, just by their demeanor, the way they walk, the way they talk to the people around them, if you just pay attention to shit like that, the way they move, you can kind of gauge what reaction you're going to get from talking to this person before you even speak to them, right? That's going to take a little time for you to, you not understand, but that's going to take a little time for you to, get down pat. But if it's the rejection, which I never understood why females have such a problem with being rejected. Rejection is a part of life. You have to be rejected. If we all were to, get everything we wanted on the first try, this would be fucking boring. Nobody would work for anything. Nobody would change. Nobody would put in the effort to change themselves. Nobody would, to change themselves for the better. Nobody would put in any effort to do anything different. We would all be a bunch of fucking, complacent, similar beings, and this would be boring as fuck. But I just never understood why women hate rejection so much. I don't like rejection, but I don't hate rejection. There's a difference. Like if I was single and I approached a young lady and I was like, hey, this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. She's like, oh no, I'm good. I got a boyfriend. I just want to be single. And you know what? It was a pleasure talking to you anyway. I'm gonna just go out with my business. You take care, right? And then even in me saying that, the chances of us sparking something later on down the line have gone up because look at the respect that I show. Right? I get a really bad rap for being this guy that just, what do they say? They say, I hate women. Like, get the fuck out of here. You know, just because I say things that are very honest and truthful and you may not like to hear the truth, doesn't necessarily mean I hate women. I don't hate anybody, right? But the chances of us rekindling something may go up because of the respect level, you know. And I know a lot of women are like, oh God, you know, when I reject a guy, he goes crazy. He starts to call me this and call me that. You should look at that as a good thing, you know. And I'm going to tell you why. If you're a woman and you reject a guy and he starts to call you bitches and motherfuckers and you hoe and he starts to say all this shit, obviously continue to walk away. But that's actually a good thing. Why? Because that motherfucker is showing you what you just avoided. You really think that a person who is cool, calm, and collected and, you know, very secure in his body is going to respond like that? No, you're dealing with a very insecure, dickheadish, that's my word, dickheadish, you know, probably an abusive motherfucker. You're dealing with that type of guy. And because he's calling you all this shit, you literally dodged the bullet. You literally dodged the bullet. So the next time, if you listen to this, the next time you reject a guy and he starts to, oh, you stupid bitch, you know I want boo ha ha, he just be like, you know what? I'm glad he's doing that. Because there's nothing worse than getting into a relationship with somebody and then they spring some shit on you. But they're not really springing it on you. They've shown you signs that they are this fucked up person, but you just ignored it because you're blinded by love or whatever the fuck. So, you know, just take the time to be honest with yourself. Take the time to work on yourself. Maybe take a break from social media because you may get relationship anxiety, which is a real thing. You may get relationship anxiety from seeing so many quote unquote good or great relationships, because you know people only post, you know, fake people only post the happy moments in their lives on social media. You know, only a select few people post, you know, good things, bad things, and indifferent things. You know, you may feel a certain type of way. You might even see a female that you tried to get with somebody else, and that might make you feel some type of way. Take some time away from social media, you know, internalize, do some positive internalization, find out what you can work on, and if you don't know what you can work on, just start working on something and the doors will open, right? It's the point at the end of the day is to make things happen for yourself. Just got to pop up on my computer. The point at the end of the day is to make things happen for yourself. And the only way you can make things happen for yourself is if you're honest and if you're willing to put in the work to work on yourself, right? Because getting mad at somebody for not wanting to be in a relationship or situationship with you has a lot less to say about them and a lot more to say about you. Maybe you're insecure. Maybe you need to work on your insecurity, right? Maybe you need to be more honest with yourself. I'll even tell you one of mine. A long time ago, forever, I would just be so fucking, I would just hate looking at my stomach. You know what I mean? I would just be like, oh man, my stomach is big as hell. You know, whole time it's big, but it's not as big as I was putting it in my mind. So if I wore a shirt that was too small, I'm constantly just like fidgeting with my shirt all day, pulling it down. And then if I like stretch and I raise my arms, my shirt comes up and then my belly starts to show. Or if I do like a bench press, you know, like the bottom of my fucking shirt will come up and my stomach will start to show. But it's like, that's stupid. That's stupid. Being insecure is literally one of the worst things you can do to yourself, because you are literally holding yourself back. insecurities, insecurities are nothing but the way you think people feel about you, not the way they actually feel about you. You have to understand, if you have an insecurity, especially a physical insecurity, 9 times out of 10, the people around you do not give a fuck, because they're dealing with their own insecurity. So if I'm dealing with all of this shit over here, the fuck makes you think I got enough time to worry about your stomach being too big, or your clothes being too small, or your, ears being too low, or your eyes being too lazy? What the fuck makes you think nobody really worries about that shit, right? There may be a few jokes cracked here and there, but the minute the joke comes out of their mouth, they already forgot it and they're moving on with their day, right? So you need to embrace the things you may or may not be insecure about, because they're not going to go away until you do something about it, right? If you're that insecure about something, why not fucking work on it? Why not take the time and pinpoint what needs to be worked on and work on it? Bet I'm insecure about my height. The average height for a man is 5'8". I barely beat that shit. I'm 5'9". But the average height for a man is 5'8". So what, you 5'6"? Okay? What you lack in height, you may make up in athletic ability, right? What you lack in height, you may make up in intellect. You may make up in people skills, right? Just because you're a certain height or you have a certain something doesn't necessarily mean that you're better than anybody else. We are literally all on the same playing field trying to figure this shit out, right? So don't let something as fucking stupid as an insecurity stop you from doing what you gotta do. It's fucking crazy, right? So I'm gonna leave you all with this. If you feel like there's something internally that needs to be worked on, fucking work on it. Okay? There's nothing wrong with it. Go at your own pace. Take as much fucking time as you need. Go at your own pace and work on yourself. Right? The life that you envision in your head is literally waiting for you to make it happen. That's all it's waiting for you to do, is just to fucking make it happen. Just make it happen, right? It's hard, yes. Nothing in life that's worth having is easy, right? Nothing in life that's worth having is easy. It's the reason why I'm fucking I wouldn't say struggling, but it's the reason why I'm still 300 plus pounds, right? If this was easy, I'd be like 190, 220 pounds by now. It's not easy. It's difficult, but it's simple, right? Most things in life that you want are difficult to attain, but the progress is simple to understand. I just got to do boom, 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 and I'll get there. Okay, now boom it's going to take some time to get that. And then when I get done with boom, I got to move to boom. And then that's just going to take that. The progress is fucking hard to do, but it's simple to understand. So that's what I'm going to leave you all with, man. I really hope you enjoyed this episode of the podcast. Make sure to follow the podcast on Excuse me. That burp came out of nowhere. God damn. Make sure to follow the podcast on Instagram at the Handle That Podcast. Make sure to subscribe to the Make sure to subscribe to the podcast's YouTube channel. Man, my words are just escaping me today. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast YouTube channel. Yeah, man, and just don't let this foolish shit stop you, man. It's not worth it. Because once you get to where you need to get to, or at least half the way, you're gonna look back and be like, man, that was fucking, why the fuck was I worrying about that dumb shit? It just literally slowed me down. I could have been all the way there by now if I wasn't being a fucking, a warrior. Not a warrior, a warrior. So with that being said, man, here again, hope y'all enjoyed this episode of the podcast. Make sure you stay groovy, stay cool, calm, work on those insecurities if you have them. Stay positive, and above all else, handle that.